Do you know I'm singing that? Oh my goodness. You are going to feel, you're going to feel so much freedom with what I have to share with you today. I think it's fair to say that all of us, when we were expecting our children, at a baby shower or however your children came into your life, you had a vision of what you wanted your kids to be. They were going to be clean and respectful and hardworking and get good grades and happy, and you have all these hopes for them. There's nothing wrong with, but we have the tendency to put onto our children what we want for them, and sometimes forget sometimes we forget to ask, what is it that God wants from them, and where are we in the process of this whole building a human process? What is our role? And honestly, as you know, our role is to guide and to be an example and to love and support and to nourish them and to build them up. But it is not to force. It is not to create them and make them into this robot of, honestly, for me, it was like, oh, there's a big fly. Oh, I want my kids to be well behaved in public because I want people to think I'm a good mom. I got it all under control. I'm in control. I got the right show going on. And, that was an insecurity in me. Like, if my kids melt down, does that make me a bad parent? No. You have to understand right at this moment, if there's one thing you can take from this boot camp, when your kids have a tantrum or a meltdown, if they're 4 or 14, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it. They're going to have those times in their life where they struggle and they even blame you and they lash out at you. And your role, as you know from, what we learned about with storms, is to not engage. You are the helicopter up here and you are hovering and trying to make them into someone who is self-controlled and who is disciplined and diligent, but it is not to force them into managing their emotions in a way that you want them to, or to make them behave so that you can feel good about you. That's not fair, actually, to them, to place that burden on them of, you need to be this way or get these grades, or you need to like soccer because I liked soccer. Like, we have to let them be who God made them to be. And when you take that humbling step back and you realize you're just a part of the puzzle, you're not the whole puzzle. Like, God made them for his glory and purpose, not for your purpose or even for your glory. And as you know, this is so hard because they are a part of us. They are, oh, here comes somebody parking next to me. Oh boy. They are a piece of us, but even though they're a piece of us, it does not mean that we can make them us. We can't make them like us. If your daughter's a crier or your son is wild, like, these are things that are part of who they are. And to say, like, stop crying and you're too wild, like, that's not giving them, confidence and freedom to be who they're made to be. Sure, you can help them manage how often they cry and how to handle situations and emotions, and you can make sure he gets his energy out and doesn't run like a bull in a china shop in the wrong places. But rather than labeling your kids or trying to force a label onto them, the freedom comes in letting go of that desire and that hope and embracing who they are without your label or your goal or your need to make them who you thought you wanted them to be when they were just teeny tiny babies and you had such big hopes for them. Before they were even born, you had your idea of who they should be and why. And I still struggle with this, but when you detach emotionally and you understand that tantrum, that shortcoming, that they don't clean their rooms or they don't shoot for straight A's, they're only just barely doing whatever they need to do in school to get by, those are things that have nothing to do with you. They're going to melt down. They're going to have trials regardless. And it means nothing about your parenting or about your person. It's part of their life. It's part of who they are. And if you can step back and take the pressure off, take the friction away from this relationship and make it about encouraging them and equipping them with strategies rather than placing these stressful demands, you spin it from like a negative, reactive parent to a positive, loving, nurturing, supportive parent. Your dance gets better. You guys are dancing together. You're not stepping on each other's toes. There isn't all this tension because you're allowing them to be themselves, and you're going to see them through these storms, and you're going to help them be better. But you're no longer going to take you're not going to take it personally when they have a meltdown. Let's pretend you and I are at a birthday party and my little girl starts having a fit because she got a green apple instead of a red one, or whatever the case may be. Are you going to look at her, and she can really scream, let me tell you, she'll wail on you. Are you going to look at her and say, wow, she must have a really bad mother? I hope not. I mean, if you really think that, you probably wouldn't be hanging out with me. No, you're going to think, oh gosh, I wonder how she's going to handle this. And you're going to watch me. And the way you react is everything. Your kids are, remember, they have these huge emotions and they're looking to you to navigate. What do I do with this? How do I get through this day, this moment? These kids are a gift. They are so amazing. And when we step out of their way and we're conscious about what demands we place on them and why, and who did God make them to be, and is it who we dreamed of and who we thought they would be, and are we okay with accepting who God made them to be? When you clear all that up, you're gonna have so much freedom in your life and in your house, and you become more conscious. One of the great books that I have read in parenting, and there are so many good ones out there, one of them is called The Conscious Parent. And I have to warn you, there are some parts of it that personally do not align with my morals, but there's a lot of good stuff in there, and it has so much to do with our undeveloped self, our ego, like using our kids to make ourselves feel better about our own shortcomings. Like for me, I'm overweight, so let me make up for it with, a child who's really, really amazing, and that's not fair to her. I should work on myself and not worry. She's looking at me. Not worry so much about who my daughter is and what that says about me. Let me say to the world about me, and let her just be her. Let her enjoy her life. Let her be, upset when she's down and happy when she's happy. And let me celebrate her and get out of her way. Let her be a child. Let her feel my love and not the constant friction, because that is truly how the children are going to develop who they are. It's not so much what we say to them or don't say to them. It's how we act. It's our relationship. We are their everything. So let's be conscious of that, and let's know that anything that they do, it really has nothing to do with you. God is trusting you to be their caretaker, to give them love and nourishment, and to let them blossom. He created them. He made them. He has a purpose for them. I hope this helps you guys.